Hey guys, welcome back to The Wire. It's time for Shot Clock. We have 3 questions on deck. Talking a little March Madness. You ready to roll? It's a little Texas Tech spring game.
Yeah, all that jazz.
Yeah, we'll mix it up. All right, get us started with question number 1.
Okay, guys, let's start this week's Shot Clock fresh off of the Texas Tech spring game. What did you learn most about the team in the opening scrimmage?
I think the biggest thing I took away wasn't necessarily with the team. It was more so the tailgaters. I mean, after a 4-8 season, to see everybody come together and support Tech just as much as they did last season, I think that was pretty respectable for Red Raider fans. As far as the team goes, I think they have a lot of work to do, both on the offense and defensive side of the ball. I think they're what I've learned is that they're paying a lot of attention to the little things, which they need to be. They need to be more disciplined. Coach Kingsbury doesn't want anything to do with turnovers this season, and I think that's the step in the right direction. But at the end of the day, when you look at who they're going to be facing in the Big 12, Tech has a long way to go before they want to hold up a trophy for a Big 12 title. Especially
with the defense, but that's an obvious aspect. They brought David Gibbs in for that. Time will tell. What we saw, they want to force the turnovers. We'll see what happens, but what I really learned about, and they're not really known as a running team, but boy, that Justin Stockton kid, he had some great runs on the day. He's gotten bigger. He's a sophomore coming out of Cibolo Steel, which is in San Antonio. It was cool for me when I interned back in San Antonio, getting to watch him play around that time frame as a freshman, sophomore in high school. The guy, even Cliff said, he used to run from sideline to sideline, but now he's just north and south. He's all about that. I mean, it's going to be a good depth. You got DeAndre Washington right there, but Justin Stockton's right behind him as well. He'll get his reps in, and if not more. What a great year he had last year for a freshman as an impact player, and more to come. Yeah, so even if Mahomes and Webb don't necessarily work out, it's nice to see you got guys like Stockton and Washington, back there handling the rock, which Texas Tech. It's never a bad thing to run. You control the clock, right? Yeah.
Okay, next question. In your opinion, which player has helped to improve his draft stock the most so far in the NCAA tournament?
Plenty of players in March Madness with 68 teams, but only a few of them have really stood up. I would say Justice Winslow. Not a bad pick. No relation to Carl Winslow. No, but he's the freshman from Duke. He led his team in scoring against Utah. He also had a huge clutch three-pointer against Gonzaga to hold off and get his team to the Final Four. I think going in, a lot of people projected him to be a first-round pick in the NBA. Now I'm seeing some people say top 5, and so Justice Winslow, keep your eyes out for that name. I'm going to stick with Wisconsin. I'm on that bandwagon. I'm going to go in that bandwagon somewhere. I'm a big fan of Frank the Tank, and he's done a great job. But Sam Decker, his teammate, sky's the limit with him lately. I mean, my goodness, the showing he's put on. He's a versatile player. He can shoot the 3 like no one's business, but he can also cut to the basket and score. He's an offensive machine. Top 10 pick. Also, we're seeing in some mock drafts, Sam Decker, 6'9" combo forward, swing man. Is he really 6'9"? 6'9". Those boys are big in Wisconsin, and he can move around. He can go both sides of the court. That's someone you want to have on your roster. Size is everything, as if we haven't learned that already about Kentucky, right? Yeah, he's shifty. I just like the way that guy drives to the lane. I think that's a talent that not necessarily a lot of outside shooters have, but just watching that kid do a little bit of work and go into the paint, it's impressive.
And finally, with Kentucky now 38-0, are the Wildcats a sure thing to become the undefeated national champs?
Well, if there ever was a sure thing in sports, I think the Kentucky Wildcats are just that. They had a tough test against Notre Dame. They got past that. A little bit of a wake-up call, and now I think the Wildcats are headed to the Final Four with all sorts of momentum moving forward. They're going to take on Wisconsin first, who I think if they can get past them, they can beat either Duke or Michigan State. I think that's going to be a huge game. Kentucky against Wisconsin. Plenty of talent, but I just think Kentucky has the better edge. I think Wisconsin can definitely go tit for tat with them in terms of size. Around this right now, you've got all these 4 teams, definitely NBA talent all around. This is where talent takes over. I mean, personally, I think if Duke were to make it, and let's say Kentucky does beat Wisconsin, which I think Wisconsin has a good shot. I really do. But let's say that happens. I think Duke would be the one team that can stop them. They've got 3 easy first-round picks on that roster right there, going against Kentucky's X amount of many that will eventually be how many of the first-round picks do they have?
Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That's just including the freshmen, not even including the sophomores and juniors that also can ball. I mean, but yeah, you're right, Marshall. I mean, absolutely. This team is just made for a championship run. And the stars have aligned, and Calipari's system is just all systems go.
Yeah.
The players just look determined, and it was a wake-up call. It really was that Notre Dame scare.
I kind of like the way Calipari talks to his team. You know, he says they're solely focused on them. You know, you can hate him or love him, that coach. There's a lot of people that aren't big fans of him, but at the end of the day, he seems to have kind of the right approach to get all these guys who are going to be top NBA players, get them all to play together, good chemistry, and just have them focus on themselves moving forward. Because at the end of the day, the only team that can beat Kentucky right now is them.
They're great rental players.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you back here next week.
Okay, thank you for our questions. That does it for Shot Clock. The Wire returns after this. We're talking powerlifting, Matthew's favorite sport. Yeah, it's coming up next right here on The Wire.